could save yourself so much of everything if you just pay attention to the red flags. That would be the first thing that I would tell my younger self. And then the second thing that I would tell my younger self is, sis, listen to that woman's intuition. It never lies. So he is a part of the industry as well. So I'll say the music industry. And we kind of met through an event I was doing. Somebody that I knew was just like, hey, you should meet this person. Like, he's really cool. So, we ended up linking and initially started talking about music because that was like both our common grounds. And it went from talking about music to like talking about each other and wanting to hang out with each other and wanting to get to know each other, and then like going out and dating. And before I knew it, I was in a relationship with somebody. He understood my life, my career. I understood his life and his career. So there never was like fighting over like, hey, you got to do this, or hey, you got to do this. It was just like, I get it, I understand. And that was great. Like, we both saw eye to eye there. He was sweet. Anything and everything that I needed, like, he made sure like I was taken care of. I didn't feel like I was stuck or I had to do everything by myself. Like, I could just release and just like let go with him. And that's one thing I will say, like, I absolutely loved about him. And he let me be me. Guys that I've dated in the past, not to say that they didn't let me be me, but, and I feel like most women in the music industry or just radio can say, like, we're pretty boisterous. Like, we gonna say what we say, because that's what we get paid to do. And this was the first guy that just like understood that and he got it. And it wasn't like an issue with him. It was just like, that's you, that's who you are. Now, if I ever got out of line, he'd be real quick and be like, okay, Jackie, you need to calm down. But he let me be me. And I just absolutely, like, I love that about him. How do we end up in Splitsville? We were on the phone one day and I'd asked him what was going on. Like, his energy was off. I asked him like, hey, what was going on? And he was just like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And I was just like, okay, all right, cool. We talked about it a little later. And like I said, he said that it was me. And he felt like I didn't care, but his energy was off. And I feel as though he was scared of commitment. I think that things started to get a little more serious and he just wasn't ready to commit. Because he wasn't ready to commit and he didn't know what to do, he just ran away from it. So I had actually, for about a year, we had went back and forth, and I had actually opened up the floor for there to be an opportunity for us to try to make it work again, because I really cared about him. But he didn't show me that he really changed a whole lot. So at that point, I had to make the decision of like, am I gonna sit here and wait on this man to get himself together and continue to hurt myself in the process, or just let him go? So I just let it go. Don't make excuses for somebody. Those commitment issues that I saw, I kept making excuses for him. Even with like the whole communication thing, with him not calling me, the first few months I made excuses like, oh, I know you're busy. Like, I found every reason in the book as to why he was doing it, and not just calling it what it was. Like, you didn't want to talk to me. Like, something was going on, something was different. So just not making excuses for somebody and just letting what is be what is. Like, this is the reality. I'm the type of person that likes to see good in all people. So, people fall short, I fall short, and you try not to, hold those shortcomings against people. Yeah. And in my case, that was what I was doing. Is I'm not perfect, he's not perfect. So, he's gonna make mistakes, he's not gonna do everything right. So I'm just gonna, see the best in him. Oh, he messed up here, it's okay, I'm gonna continue to see the best in you. How many times can I continue to see the best in you is like the thing that I needed to figure out. Like, every time you did something, every time you didn't commit to something, I'm making an excuse or letting it slide. Like, sis, how many more times are you gonna allow this to happen? You can save yourself so much of everything if you just pay attention to the red flags. That would be the first thing that I would tell my younger self. And then the second thing that I would tell my younger self is, sis, listen to that woman's intuition. It never lies. When you feel it, when you hear it, take a second to really acknowledge that thing. See what it's saying. See what it's really digging into, and listen to that. Because again, I saw them signs, and I'm just like, it's not that big of a deal. And that intuition was telling me that something was off, but I didn't want to listen to it. Had I listened and had I really like adhered to those red flags, I don't think that I would have, and I'm not gonna say I wasted 2 years of my life. I didn't. Is he a great guy? Yes. Was he my great guy? No. Did I have a great time with him? Yes. Will I go back to him? No. So I'm not gonna say I wasted 2 years of my life, because there were great things that I learned from him, and it was a great experience. But you know, who's to say that in those 2 years I could have been with somebody else, or I could have been doing something else? Like, listen to those things. I could have saved myself a lot of tears, heartache. There's a lot of things that I could have saved myself from going through and experiencing had I paid attention to those red flags and actually like paid attention to my intuition.